Sir, we all know of his physical challenges. So, how did he carry out his work? Did he follow any particular routine?
Of course, his condition was gradually deteriorating, although very slowly. And when I was a student, he still used to come in. He didn't have a 9 to 5 schedule like normal people. But he did come in. I saw him more or less regularly by 10:30 at least on several occasions, and it took him a lot of time in the mornings to get ready. But as such, he was in the department more than I would have anticipated.
Sir, he tried to solve the most interesting mysteries of our universe. But how did he choose the problems that he worked on?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So, you would have thought that, as you know, that he was diagnosed with this motor neuron disease or the ALS, that is called what it is called when he was a graduate student. And then at that point of time, he was given a few years to live. So you would have thought that once he felt a bit better, he would start working on his PhD thesis. He needed to complete his thesis, so he would choose something that would be important, but which he would be able to complete in a finite amount of time. And it is indeed remarkable that he managed to isolate such a problem, which was based on Penrose's theorems that followed before him. But in his own words, so later on in his own words, he actually said that although it might have seemed as if he was following some grand design, that was definitely not the case. In fact, on the contrary, he was working on problems that seemed relevant to him at that point of time and which were doable to him.
Sir, other than the Hawking radiation, what were his other most significant contribution, be it scientifically, or he also did a lot of public outreach? I personally read his book, Brief History of Time, during my school days, and it was really one of the things that really inspired me to come into science.
Yeah, so scientifically he had many contributions. So he worked on two main areas. One of them was the Big Bang theory, the cosmology, and the second was black holes. And he made important contributions in all of them. So, as I was saying, that a black hole has an entropy associated with it, and Bekenstein in the 1970s had realized that the entropy of the black hole would go like the area of the event horizon. But it was Hawking who actually derived the precise numerical factor, which is 1/4. This quarter is very, very important because it poses a challenge to any quantum theory of gravity in the following way: that this is entropy, so you want to give a statistical interpretation to this entropy following Boltzmann's law, that it should be the logarithm of the degeneracy of states. And so any quantum theory of gravity should be able to explain the full relation. So this relation, that this is area divided by 4, is actually the leading term in a series of terms. But it is very important that any theory of gravity which says that it is a quantum theory of gravity should be able to explain that 1/4. And other contributions, seminal contributions in general relativity. So one of them was something called the area theorem, which tells you that in any physical process, the area of the event horizon of the black hole would not decrease, and this is compatible with the second law of thermodynamics. He came up with he explained the laws of black hole mechanics, which are analogs of the laws of thermodynamics. He had very important contributions in understanding the Big Bang singularity, so that these are called the Hawking-Penrose singularity theorems.
How did he go into writing books for the public?
That's a very interesting question. So his most famous book, The Brief History of Time, was actually written when he was undergoing financial hardship, and so this was in the 1980s, and it was suggested to him that he should write a book, and he thought it was a good idea because he would get royalty out of it. And so he had ideas, he began writing it, and at that point of time he had this trip to Switzerland where he fell very, very ill, and he was hospitalized. He contracted pneumonia, and the doctors at that point of time called up his wife and told her that we have to put him off life support. So basically, that's it. But his wife persisted, no, you cannot do that. He has to live. And gradually he recovered. He went back. And at that point of time, he had a tracheotomy. So he was able to speak before that, but he lost his voice. So he had to reinvent. That's when his voice synthesizer came in, and then he had to reinvent the way that he would communicate. But he managed to finish his book, which was extremely popular, and still popular. He wrote several books afterwards. In recent times, he also co-authored children's books with his daughter Lucy Hawkins. And I'm pretty sure that those will be quite impactful as well. Those will also inspire people into doing science or thinking about black holes or cosmology.
Sir, I'll ask you, is there any problem that always troubled him, but he could never completely find out the solution or completely figure out?
I'm sure there were. So far as theoretical physics is concerned, he is famously, he wanted to find a grand unified theory which would actually also be a theory of quantum gravity. So he wanted to find a consistent quantum theory of gravity. And I think it's safe to say that we are still looking for it, what would explain nature. And some theories like string theory of course have made a lot of progress, have shown a lot of promise, but on a non-physics topic, he did mention in an interview that he wanted a cure for motor neuron disease, or at least something that would slow it down to an extent that it wouldn't affect daily life the way that it affected him.